Hey, it's James, Fathers Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I talk a little bit about what people can and should be doing in court, in my opinion, and what worked for me and thousands of other people, what worked for people. I worked at a few different family law firms as a paralegal, legal assistant. I've done contract or individual work with attorneys and partnered with them, just like on a particular case here and there. So I've seen since 2001 what has worked. First of all, with my own case. So again, you're looking at and talking to somebody who won over and over and over in court. So anybody who comes on here on a page and says, I'm simplifying things, or it's not that easy, or what James says doesn't work, you're a stupid ass, idiotic moron, because I won in court. And I won in court at a time where I didn't have the information you guys have. You guys have 100 times the information that I had when I got started. So here's some things that you cannot be doing on your family law case. First of all, you cannot wait. You cannot sit around and be inactive. You got to be proactive. The other side, if they haven't done it already, they might be plotting an emergency ex parte restraining order and going to court behind your back to set you up. They could be plotting and scheming and figuring out how they're going to lie about you. They could be plotting with other witnesses or an ex-girlfriend of yours to tag team you in court. So you don't have time to be sitting around and goofing around. The first day that the other side betrays you over your kids, you should be getting on the warpath instead of being a pussy and sitting around like, how do I make her love me again? How do I make her not betray me? This person may have got you thrown in jail lying to the cops because the neighbors called the cops because she was screaming and hollering and trying to stab you. And then the cops get called by a neighbor, and then she says he did it. And she got you falsely prosecuted. That should be enough of a red flag that you should get the hell up out of there and take your kids, or kick her out and take your kids. But no, we want to not hurt the weaker sex. We want to bend over backwards for a woman who just totally betrayed us and tried to destroy our lives and empire. You know Deion Sanders, the football player and now college coach? That dude had an incident with his former wife, and I believe he might have called the cops. But the cops came that night, and he pressed charges for domestic violence. Then he got a restraining order. Then he got custody of his kids. That dude did not hesitate. And there's plenty of stories of guys who took the initiative and got on the offensive. There's plenty of stories, but there's a million times more stories of guys not doing this and not being proactive and not getting on the offensive and being total pussies. See, once somebody totally betrays me, whether it's a friend or a coworker or somebody else, I need to protect myself from getting betrayed again. But we've gotten so whipped. We've gotten so henpecked. We've turned into such simp bitches. We will give the mother 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 chances. I know a guy, he called me, had a kid with a woman. She falsely accused him of domestic violence. He went to jail and he beat a case. I think they either dropped it because he pushed hard, or he took it to trial and he got acquitted. Then the dumbass turns around and has a kid with her again. This lady tried to destroy his life and put him in jail or even prison for something he did not do. That's not somebody you should ever trust again. Now, if they change and they get better, you can love them and respect them from a distance. But you're like a 3-year-old who is playing with fire after they already got burned one time. You got to be a freaking moronic, stupid, dumbed down crackhead. And when it's time for people like to come to me and say, look, I've gotten royally screwed, I need help, then you have to do the stuff that I'm talking about. You have to turn around and stop being a pussy-ass bitch, or stop being a simp, or stop being extremely stupid. And it's time to make up your mind that I am going to go to war for my kids and their sake, and stop worshiping the ass of your baby's mom or your ex-wife or whatever. Think about it. That girlfriend or baby's mom or wife could possibly never be your girlfriend or wife again. Those kids will always be your kids. So you have to look out for them first. Now, if there's hope for you guys to work things out, I don't tell people don't reconcile and don't get back together if that's what you guys choose. I never advise somebody on that and try and bully somebody into that. If you're going to do something stupid like that, go ahead. But with somebody who totally betrayed you, some people do change. So that's why I don't say you have to do this or whatever, but secure what needs to be secured first, at least. Like, it's insane to me to go back to somebody who falsely accused you and wanted to go to jail for something, and then the guy got falsely accused again. And then now he's barely seeing his kids. If he would have, and when he reconciled, this is what you idiots don't do, and you don't use common sense God gave a freaking monkey. Once you work it out with them and you're civil, agree to a parenting plan that secures stuff. If you Hollywood stars, when they get married, they make prenuptial agreements all the time, and they're still in love. They're like, okay, this is just part of the deal. But you're such a pussy, you're scared to even ask her, do you want to sign an agreement in case we don't work out, for the sake of the kids? If she says no, then you have officially established that she's still plotting or always has it on the back burner to betray you, you dumbass. And I say this stuff because we're dealing with your life with the kids. If you want to be a freaking retarded, dumbass, moronic idiot and keep getting played by women and you don't have kids, have at it. Be a stupid jackass. Ruin your life. I don't care. But we're talking about your kids. And you either want sex or companionship or love more than you want to provide love, security, and stability for your kids. That makes you a sellout little bitch of a father. And I don't want to talk to you if all you want to do is say, James, how can I salvage my relationship with the wife or the girlfriend first? And then I'll worry about my kids. I'm kids first. And if she's reasonable and she really wants to get her act together, then you as a man with some balls, you take the lead and secure the kids and say, if you want to get back together with me, it's on my terms. Well, I got full custody of the kids and control. And you go get a parenting plan and then work out whatever you want to do. Time heals all wounds. The 2 different times where I got my heart broken in life, it took a little while to get over it. But as soon as I realized I was getting betrayed, I cut that loose. And I went through the pain. Some of you guys are such bitches. When you get betrayed or you cut somebody loose, you feel like you need them back to salve the pain. Why don't you get healed from the pain without them and then see if you need them later? God, we're such pussies. We're such bitches. We're such cowards. We're such simps. So here's what you can't do. You can't sit on your ass and do nothing because you're in a war. Just think about it. Think about a literal war. Or a literal boxing match. You can't sit there unless you're Floyd Mayweather, you can't sit there and duck and dodge punches all match. You have to hit. If you're in a war, you can't sit in the same location. You will get found by the enemy and ambushed. Anybody with half a brain knows this stuff. And you're going to court in a war over your kids. You should put on the mentality of a warrior and go to war and want to fight. So when there's a court hearing coming up, you shouldn't wait until 11:59 p.m. the night before the court hearing to start getting ready for the hearing. I got people who call me up the night before they go to trial. And I tell them no. One time I had a guy call me during the day. We could have sat down and done 5 hours of trial prep, and I could have made, a few $100 from him. But he said, hey, I got trial tomorrow. I've been watching your videos for a year, and I'm really inspired, but I'm really scared of trial. I'm like, you stupid, dumbass, moronic idiot. You should have called if you actually cared about your kids and weren't such a cowardly little bitch. Now, I'm not saying you can't be nervous about the court system or intimidated by the court system. I'm saying when you're doing nothing, and then you see somebody like me who's won without an attorney and countless other guys do it, you're a bitch because you don't even want to think about even trying. You're just, procrastination is rooted in fear. I'm afraid to confront this and deal with this, so I'll procrastinate and do it later. You're afraid. You have to make a decision to move forward, even when you're afraid. And then when you go through with it, you become less afraid because it's not as bad as your fear makes you think it is. So you can't delay. You can't wait until the last minute. You have to be proactively proactively on the offensive. And you have to learn every single thing you need to know while you're at it. You cannot sit on your butt and wait till the last minute.